The hangar bay of the Valkyrian fortress reeked of molten metal and ozone. Shattered drones lay in heaps beside burned-out plasma coils, and I, Elias Vance, human mechanic and self-taught engineer, stood at the edge of the chaos, clutching my tool case like it was a shield. The alien guards flanking the entrance glared at me through helmets shaped like obsidian skulls. Their queen was inside. Their goddess of war. Their last hope. She doesn't want human hands on her armor. One of them growled in his guttural, translated tone. I gave a short nod, wiping grease from my palms onto my jumpsuit. Then tell her she can keep dying one battle at a time. I'm the only one left who understands that armor's design. The guards looked uncertain. Good. That was my opening. Before they could respond, I strode forward, straight into the chamber that hummed with violet light and the faint, almost musical hum of alien technology. She stood at the center. Queen Althera of the Ka'reth Dominion, wrapped in scorched plating that shimmered like glass and liquid night. Her armor pulsed faintly where it was cracked, like it was breathing. When her eyes found me, I froze. They glowed a deep emerald, ancient and calculating, and for a moment, I could almost feel the weight of entire worlds behind them. You, she said, her voice reverberating like two tones at once, one human, one alien. They send me a scavenger from a dying race? I swallowed hard. They send you the one who can fix what your own engineers can't. She tilted her head, intrigued but not impressed. The fractured armor at her shoulder flickered with weak energy arcs. No man has ever repaired the Aegis of Ka'reth, she said coldly. Not even those who forged it, and certainly not a human. Her words hung in the air, a dismissal, a challenge. I met her gaze. Then it's about time someone did. Middle, the cracks beneath the metal. The armor wasn't just technology, it was alive. As I began my work, my tools hummed with interference, scanners flickering uselessly. The Aegis rejected my touch at first, as if sensing I didn't belong. Energy flared and threw me backward twice before I finally adapted my tools to match its pulse frequency. You persist, Althera said quietly, arms folded as I stood again. Most men would have fled. Most men don't fix the impossible for a living. I grunted, focusing on the next seam. The armor hissed, venting a faint mist as I welded a microfusion seam into alignment. But as I worked, I began to notice things, faint symbols etched into the armor's inner lining, shapes that shifted when viewed from different angles. And beneath the plating, a subtle heartbeat. Not hers. Not entirely. This thing isn't just armor, I muttered. It's bonded to you. Her voice softened, almost unwillingly. The Aegis responds to the soul. It knows its bearer. It protects me, as long as I am worthy. That last word carried pain. Let me guess, I said, glancing up at her. It's rejecting you. Her eyes flashed. You presume much, human. Maybe, I said, but that's why I'm here, right? To fix what even your gods can't. For a long moment, silence. Then she spoke again, not to me, but to herself. My enemies broke the outer shell. My spirit broke the rest. I paused. Beneath her armor, beneath that invincible queenly poise, was something brittle. A wound that no engineer could weld shut. Hours passed. Sparks flew. The alien metal began to sing, a low harmonic that synced with her breathing. My tools were scorching hot. Sweat poured down my face, but I didn't stop. When I finally sealed the last visible fracture, she stepped forward, examining it. The armor pulsed again, brighter now, wrapping her in that eerie violet radiance. But then it screamed. Energy surged through the air, knocking over tables, scattering components. I barely ducked in time as the Aegis convulsed, trying to tear itself from her body. Althea dropped to one knee, gasping. "It refuses me," she choked out. "What do you mean refuses you?" I shouted, trying to stabilize the field. "The Aegis believes I am unfit to wear it. It seeks another host." And that's when I saw it, the armor's inner light shifting toward me. A sick realization hit me. The energy signature matched my own pulse frequency. The Aegis was reaching, not for her, but for me. "Queen, it's syncing with me," I yelled. "Then you must break the connection," she commanded. I tried. God, I tried. But the energy had already linked us, a thread of alien light between my chest and hers, pulsing in rhythm with both our heartbeats. When she stood, her expression changed. Not anger, not fear, but shock. The armor's glow stabilized. The energy field calmed. "It accepts you," she whispered. "Guess it's got strange taste," I managed, half-dazed. Althea took a step closer, the energy between us shimmering like a tether. "Tell me, human, what did you do?" "Just fix the cracks," I said. Her eyes softened, only slightly, but enough to make my breath catch. "No," she said. "You healed something else. Something it could feel." Middle continued, the trust test. The days that followed were strange. The Queen permitted me to remain near her, an unheard-of privilege for an outsider. Together we tested the Aegis' systems, adjusting the interface, restoring lost functions. The armor's intelligence, its spirit, was still wary of her but no longer hostile. Each day, she allowed me closer, to the armor and to herself. One evening, as I rebalanced the neural circuit along her forearm, she said softly, "When I first donned this armor, I was told it would only respond to one pure of purpose. I led my people through war believing I was that person." Her tone faltered. "But when my own brother betrayed me, when I slaughtered him before the council to keep my throne, the Aegis cracked. Not from his blade, but from my own corruption." I froze. "You're saying it broke because of guilt?" "Because of truth," she replied. "It mirrors the soul. And mine was fractured." Her words hung in the dim workshop light, heavy and raw. I wanted to tell her she didn't have to carry that alone, but before I could, the armor pulsed again, sensing her distress. It flared violently, lashing at me with energy. I caught the wave with my gauntlet, redirecting it through the stabilizer. The field dimmed. She looked at me, wide-eyed. "You risked your life for that," she said quietly. "Can't fix armor if the owner's dead," I said, managing a shaky grin. Her lips twitched, almost a smile. "Foolish human." "Yeah," I said, "but you didn't stop me." Something passed between us then, something wordless. Not the bond of mechanic and client, but something deeper. Trust. Fragile but real. Climax. The Siege of Ka'reth. It came sooner than expected. The fortress shuddered with the sound of orbital bombardments. The Dravari fleet, the Queen's ancient rivals, had arrived in full force, breaking through Ka'reth's defenses. I found Althea standing on the balcony of her command deck, her repaired armor gleaming like liquid night under the crimson glare of the burning sky. "They've come for me," she said. "For my throne. For my failure." I grabbed my toolkit and the portable core stabilizer. "Then let's not give them what they came for." She turned to me, her eyes bright with a fierce, quiet pride. "You would fight for a queen not your own?" "I didn't fix your armor just to watch it break again," I said. "You trusted me, remember?" Her eyes softened again, that rare, human moment amid the fire and chaos. "Then we fight as one." When she spoke the activation code, the armor fully awakened. It enveloped her in a radiant field of energy, seamless, perfect. But when the battle began, it wasn't just hers. The Aegis had linked with me. Every movement she made, every strike of her plasma blade. I felt it. The armor drew power from both our life forces, amplifying her strength beyond anything she had ever known. We fought side by side through the burning halls. Dravari warbeasts fell before us. Enemy drones shattered under her energy blasts. I rerouted her shield matrix on the fly, channeling reactor output to her weapons while keeping the armor stable. And in the thick of it, amidst the chaos, she turned to me, her face illuminated by the glow of the Aegis. "Elias," she said, voice trembling through the comm link. "Do you trust me?" It was the same question I'd once asked her, half-jokingly, in the workshop. I didn't hesitate. "With my life." She smiled, truly smiled, and leapt from the rampart into the heart of the enemy horde. The Aegis flared, brighter than the sun. The energy bond pulled me into sync, amplifying both our wills. We were one mind, one purpose. The Aegis screamed, not in pain this time, but in triumph. When the light faded, the battlefield was silent. The Dravari forces withdrew, their ships retreating beyond the stratosphere. The Queen still stood, her armor unmarred, her spirit whole. Ending, the healed and the healer. After the battle, the fortress was quiet again. Fires burned low, drones carried off the wounded, and I found myself back in the hangar where it had all begun. Althira approached, her armor now calm and translucent, like glass cooled after fire. "You have done what no man, no being has done before," she said softly. "You healed the Aegis. And me." I met her gaze. "I just fixed the cracks." She stepped closer, the emerald glow of her eyes now warm, not cold. "Perhaps. But you reminded me what it means to trust again." She raised her hand, placing it over the heartplate of her armor, the same place where the bond line had once connected us. "The Aegis remembers you, as do I." I tried to smile, but words failed. Then, in a motion that would have shocked her entire empire, she removed her gauntlet and placed her bare hand over mine. The touch was electric, but not from energy, from something older. Respect, gratitude, maybe even affection. "You will stay," she said quietly, though her tone made it less a command and more a hope. "There is much left to rebuild." I looked around the ruined bay, then back at her. "You're the Queen. You sure you want a stubborn human tinkering with your empire?" Her lips curved faintly. "You fix the heart of a queen, Elias Vance. The rest will be easy." And as I watched her walk toward the throne room, armor gleaming like reborn starlight, I realized the truth. She hadn't needed a mechanic. She'd needed a reminder that even gods of war could be healed, not by power, but by trust.